Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Blackford Sports Network, home to your Blackford Bruins. Been a little bit of a crazy start to this. You guys are going to get to watch this later on this evening, basically because we have 4 minutes to go, and for some reason nothing seems to be working. Got a special guest tonight. He's been asking me to come on. I've been putting him off, telling him no way. I don't like him that much. But I finally had to cave in. How you doing, Chris Landis?
Good. How are you doing, Steve?
I'm doing not so good.
Yeah,
but,
well.
Glad to have you here with us tonight.
Yeah, I'm okay tonight. Last night after standing out in the cold filming football, this is great.
This is good times right here then, right?
Yeah, absolutely. When they announced the temperature at the starting time of the game is 25 degrees, you're going, man, I wish it was basketball.
Yeah, exactly. This is the one good thing about Indiana is we love to do basketball in the winter when it's freezing cold. But next season is baseball, and we still like to do it outside in the freezing cold as well.
We start out that way anyway.
So I see you over there looking at some stats. I know you've got some going. What about this Starfire team to start off with?
South Adams was 10 and 13 last year on the season. This is their first game of the 2019-2020 season. A year ago, they defeated Blackford 59-28. Returning from that team, and their leading scorer is senior Lydia Loesch. She averaged 11.7 points a game last year. They also have Kristen Wynn, a sophomore, who averaged 5.1. Maddie Smith, a junior, that averaged 3.5. Carly Sealscott, a sophomore, who averaged 3. And Kelsa Ortiz, that averaged 2.4. And I will note that Loesch is the only senior on the Starfire team that obviously is hurting for numbers. It looks like they have 10 on the varsity roster, and that's why there's no JV game this evening.
Oh, that's all they have then, huh?
Yes.
Yikes.
So struggling. I know they struggled a few years back of having a JV as well, and it's kind of surprising because their volleyball program is very good, and so is their softball program. So this is the program it looks like they're trying to build up right now.
Yeah, and this is the one that they obviously need. And that's sad. I hate to see that in high school sports, but you could kind of tell that that's the way it was going to be tonight because they only have one set of upstairs bleachers down. The other set behind us is pushed in, and they don't have very much seating down low. Their band looks to be half the size it was last year.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that is an enrollment issue or if it's just students not wanting to get involved.
I think it's student participation because I know their football team has really good numbers.
Okay.
And they're very young. And actually I was talking to Mr. Arnold. His son's the quarterback for the Starfires that were undefeated and ranked number 1 until Adams Central got revenge on them last night.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah, so the Jets beat them 19-7, and he said they just didn't come to play. And I had one of our cameramen for state champs up here, and he threw a couple interceptions last night, and he hasn't been doing that. So pick the wrong night to have a bad night because you don't get next Friday to try to come back from it.
Exactly. Once you make those mistakes in the postseason, it's hard to recover from it, and if you can't recover from it, you're going to go home and sit in the nice warm chair while the rest of the teams go on.
Yeah, exactly. Now on Friday, if they want to be at home, they can do that. That's why I appreciate you inviting me here after being outside last night. So I was telling you about that before we got on air. And to go back to what you were saying about some JV teams, I was noticing some people that were making some posts on the Indiana basketball fan page that down south there's 2 or 3 girls teams that don't have JVs, and evidently they're not used to that down south, and it's becoming sounds like it's becoming more of an issue all over the state.
It seems like it, and I really wish that we could pinpoint what it is that needs to be corrected or fixed and just go ahead and fix it.
Yeah.
But it's sad that we have this issue, especially in Indiana and especially with basketball.
And I think it runs in cycles. I mean, when I first started coaching at Blackford right after I graduated, not too long, they had a freshman girls basketball team.
Yeah.
And now it's tough to find a freshman boys basketball team in some cases. So I found that out during my time as an athletic director. You're trying to find games for your freshman team. You end up playing Newcastle and Richmond, and
you play
some
those
schools are a lot bigger than you because nobody else around has those.
All right, it looks like they're getting ready to go into the national anthem. So,
The American Veterans, or AMVETS. Our mission is to help all veterans secure the benefits they're entitled to as part of their enlistment. If you're a veteran and have never registered with the VA, contact us to discover all the benefits you may be entitled to. Our service officers are local in VA hospitals in Fort Wayne, Marion, and Indianapolis. They're certified to file a VA claim for you and see it through at no charge to you. Contact AMVETS at the number listed below.
all right, if there's one thing that's good tonight, it's going to be that band.
Yeah, and for no more numbers than they have, they sound pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Kurt Amstutz is a friend of mine. We got the pleasure of meeting him during travel baseball for the Burn Bears. His son, the drummer, is extremely good. Been invited to go to different places and stuff like that. So I always look forward to coming here. But let's see here. What were we talking about? We were talking
about lack of freshmen, teams and participation, and it's one of those things that kids have too many other options nowadays. Technology, and they just don't. A lot of kids nowadays, I've noticed too, get jobs. And back when I was in school, that wasn't near a. I don't want to say popular, but a necessary thing, because I know a lot of the kids that I worked with in the school were working to help their parents out.
Right.
So,
which is sad. That the money plays a role in kids not playing sports. I know it was for me when I was younger. I grew up very poor, and if I wanted to be able to drive myself to school and play those sports, I had to get a job. But once I got the job, I couldn't play the sports because I couldn't afford to.
Right. And you're right. You've got to find ways to entice kids to do that, to do those kinds of things. And actually, oddly enough, we just discussed this at a board meeting this past week. We have foreign language classes that are starting to offer trips. Our Spanish class went to Peru a year ago, and they're going to Costa Rica next year. And our French class went to Canada. And that's that carrot that they're dangling out there to get kids to take foreign language nowadays, too.
It's crazy that's what they have to do. But hey, this is the way things are, and this is the way they're going to have to be, and we've got this game underway. So before we get too involved with it, we never get to talk about our own girls, the Bruins. What did you find out about them?
I'm going to record this foul here real quick. I think that was on Olivia Lease, and it is. Blackford is 2-1 right now, coming off their latest victory over Fort Wayne, 43-38. Off to a good start this year. They're led by Olivia Lease with 11 points a game. Helen Weitzel's getting 10 a game. Olivia Waters is coming in with an 8-point average. Grace Simmons at 5. J.C. Sones and Reagan Harding each are averaging 3.5. Bree Adney has an average of 2 per game. And Sissy Reed and Erin Cagle are each getting a point apiece as well. And Blackford averaging 44 points a game this year, and I know that's way up over last year.
Oh, yeah.
And also I did the game when they played Southwood. I worked with Bob Stambazzi and the Bash radio station, and one of the things that we noticed right away is how they had cut the number of turnovers down. I announced a couple of the girls' games last year, and I would say Southwood, they probably had half the amount of turnovers they had per game last year, and obviously that creates more opportunities to score, and that's why the success is happening.
Right. I remember last year. Last year was just abysmal. J.C. Sones gets blocked from behind, but, yeah, it was just an abysmal season last year. The girls weren't happy with the way things were going. Obviously, Coach Waters not happy with the way things were going, but definitely changed things here, and it looks like we had a foul on the Starfires. I didn't see the
number 11. That's Wynn's first foul, and it's the third foul of the game, and we're 41 seconds in. I don't know if that's a good sign or not.
Right now, yes, I would say that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can I got the chance to see them play for the first time. Olivia chucking up a 3 and misses. But I got the chance to see him play for the first time at home this week. Was it Wednesday?
Against Wayne?
Yeah, against Fort Wayne. And there was a few things that I noticed that kind of give you a little pause. But otherwise, I mean, last year you just talked about just pretty much every girl on the varsity roster is averaging some points per game.
Right.
Last year that wasn't the case. It was maybe 3 girls had points in games, and the rest didn't have anything. So
I think they called that foul on Gracie, and that was 2 girls going after a ball in a good hustle play, I thought. But they're evidently going to call this game tight.
Yeah, it looks to be that way.
That could be bad for South Adams, like you're saying. When you only have 10 players, you're going to go to your bench awful quick and maybe too often.
Well, I know they got one girl back out of an injury that she sustained over soccer season, so maybe that'll give them just one extra bench player.
Yep.
And now we've got another one on lease. Wow.
And everybody is struggling to get the basketball in the hole right now. That was on number 11?
No, they gave that to Sones. I thought
22.
that one was on lease.
That would be Sones' first foul of the night, and the third on Blackford.
And right now, the Starfires are 2 for 4 from the free throw. Kept wanting to say field.
Yeah.
And that one is good. So 3 for 5 now. And it looks like they're going to play Blackford in a really strong press, and they've got to get the ball in, and they don't.
Yeah, and that's the first turnover of the night for the Lady Bruins. Something to keep an eye on. And Southwood applied a little pressure, but for the most part, they just played an aggressive zone and forced Blackford to shoot outside quite a bit. So that basket was by Ortiz and gives South Adams a 5-0 lead now. They got to take care of the ball, and Coach Waters is going to take a quick timeout.
And he needed to call that one. The Bruins just struggling getting that ball out of the press, and that's not good. But before we get going any further, let's give the sponsors a little bit of credit. This quarter is going to be brought to you by Huggins Auto Sales and Service. Scott Confer, the owner. They've got their showroom online at hugginsshowroom.com. And they would love to have you out there, and we would love to have you go out there and get some service or pick up a new car from them.
We'll definitely appreciate all the sponsors and yourself for doing something like this with BSN. I know traveling all over the state, unfortunately, like I do, it enables me to be sitting at another ball game and pull up and see how Blackford's doing. And I'll be honest, I'm not the only one doing that.
No,
I've been out of town, and there's other people around me that are watching Blackford.
Yep.
So
the greatest thing was this year we were sitting up in the football booth watching a Blackford football game at home, and we looked down, and sure enough, there were three men, older men, with their phone out watching the game on YouTube.
And there's another turnover, and
that one was blocked by Lise. She just grabbed a hold of the ball, tried to strip it out of her hand, but it goes out of bounds.
And I did something else I wrote down. I think Lise is averaging several steals a game.
Yeah, Lise is a very athletic, and there's another one in the paint.
Same girl, too.
Yep. It's almost like Blackford's not seeing him. There's J.C. Sones getting the ball, giving it up to Olivia Waters, and she tries going through, but she can't make it. The ball is stolen, and a nice block by Helen Weitzel, but the rebound and putback by the Starfires.
Well, that's 3 turnovers in a row, and that's leading to the score the way it is right now. So now South Adams is settled into a zone again, so it's going to force Blackford to be a little more patient on offense once they do break the press. They weren't afraid to chuck up the threes at Southwood, though. They did. They put them up without hesitation, and really, if that game could have been started over, when Blackford, I knew it was going to be a little thing with nerves. A lot of freshmen,
yes.
A lot of new faces out there, and they got behind 22-2, and it's really hard. They spent so much energy pulling that game within 6 that they just didn't have enough left in the tank.
Right. And this whole play right here, once the Starfires got on offense, it's almost like Blackford forgot how to play defense.
Yeah.
They have Blackford running all over the court, not knowing where they're going or what they're doing. Now a 2-on-1 situation, and Olivia Waters gets away with one.
Yep, had a couple blocks now. I think they blocked 2 shots on the last possession. South Adams is moving and being pretty quick on offense because they've got 3 layups. I mean, that's how you can shoot pretty high percentages when you're shooting in the paint from 3 feet. So.
Exactly, and when they're wide open and uncontested.
Right. In that inbounds play, that girl was wide open. We might have been the closest people to her.
There's another one.
Yep.
She had 2 around her, but not in a position to make the play. And we've got to get this ball inbound and get it out of here because the Starfires are setting themselves up to have 2 defenders for our one offense.
They got it inside to Lease for an easy layup on a nice pass from Waters, and the Bruins are on the board.
That was actually Weitzel.
Weitzel pass?
Yep.
Okay.
And there's a 3.
That would be Peyton Priest, and she has now got 6 of the Starfires, 14 points.
Oh, man, that was.
And that's another foul. That looked like a Friday night hit there.
Pretty much. That was number 11, wasn't it?
Yes,
yep.
That's her second foul of this evening.
Coach telling her to calm down. I seen Coach Waters down there hollering at the official, wondering where his foul was on our side of the ball.
That was a nice cut by number 20. That would be Grace Simmons, and she found J.C. Sones open on the wing. Just, again, couldn't get the shot to go down.
And that's what I noticed when we played Fort Wayne, the Generals. I think at one point before the half, we were 0 for 14 from threes.
Sones was open again there.
I want to say we were only shooting 18% from field goal range.
And actually I've got, for the season, Blackford is 10 for 54 from three-point range. Lease just improved that a little bit. And they're shooting 19% from three-point range, 31 from 2-point.
Oh, man. And the Starfires return. That was that same girl, number 25, I believe.
Okay, well, she's on fire right now then. Yeah. They need to get on her.
Simmons with the ball, drives in. Nope, they're going to kick it all the way back out. I never have liked a cross-the-court pass.
Yeah, those skip passes scare me.
That one's going to miss. Rebound goes to the Starfires. Oh, they're going for a long pass.
Oh.
And they're going to get the foul on Simmons again. I believe that's number 2 for her, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
That if you're going to foul, that's the foul I want to see.
Yeah.
You don't give the other team a wide open layup like that.
And if you're going to foul them, don't let them hit the shot too.
Exactly. Make them earn it, and there you go. She missed her first one.
She missed her free throw. She's the one that missed 1 out of 2 last time, but she's also the one with the hot hand right now. She's got 9 points of the 17, and the Starfires, this press, they are getting up and down the court with not a lot of depth. You don't see teams do that sometimes.
Right.
But here they are with a 17-5 lead and running and gunning.
And not showing any signs of letting up either.
No. Being pretty aggressive on the defensive end, too, there. Yeah, I think she got away with a walk there.
She slid that pivot foot just a little bit.
Hey, it's early for the officials, too. They're As long as they don't watch the NFL officials on Sunday, they'll be okay.
Oh, man, talk about bad.
That is, I tell you what, it's hard to watch a game anymore. It really is. And, because every play is questioned and all the replays. And then Monday morning you turn on the radio and that's all they're talking about. The officials blew this and cost this team the game. And Waters missed an outside shot, but Lee's is fighting for it. She's not getting any help. No, and another timeout.
Man, that's 2 early on. And Coach Waters cannot be happy with the way things are going for his team right now.
Yeah, Blackford's 1 for 5 from 3-point range and 1 for 5 from 2-point range. So shooting 20% from the field right now.
Not very good. And let's get into a quick ad before we get going too far. And we'll be right back.
American Veterans, or AMVETS. Our mission is to help all veterans secure the benefits they're entitled to as part of their enlistment. If you're a veteran and have never registered with the VA, contact us to discover all the benefits you may be entitled to. Our service officers are local in VA hospitals in Fort Wayne, Marion, and Indianapolis. They're certified to file a VA claim for you and see it through at no charge to you. Contact AMVETS at the number listed below.
All right, we're back. That couldn't have worked out any better. Olivia gets the ball, drives in, chucks one up towards the basket. No good.
That was kind of an off-balance shot. I wasn't sure if she was passing to Harding or actually shooting that, but I think she took a shot there.
Yeah, that is definitely a shot.
And South Adams, that's their second turnover of the night. And
oh, man.
Blackford's only got the 3 they made consecutively, and since then it's just been a matter of not getting the basket in the hole, the basketball in the hole, excuse me.
For a second there, I thought the Starfires were going to let us bring one up the court easy, but
nope. Oh, no hesitation.
One. And she might have her shot down tonight.
And Lease has all 8 Blackford points at this point, but it's good to see the Bruins settling down, getting the ball down court, and getting an opportunity to get those shots off.
Yeah, you got to get something going here. Hopefully Coach Waters has called them in and calmed them down a little bit.
Yeah, got to pick up the defense a little bit, and then obviously South Adams is not going to keep getting wide open shots. And I was going to say, hopefully would not keep the hot hand, but if you're going to foul him on a three-point attempt, that is not going to help.
No, that's the second foul on a three-point attempt, and Olivia Lisa's second foul of the game, and she's going to come out.
Yeah, Lise and Simmons each have 2 already, and I believe this is number 11.
And that is, yes, number 11. She misses another one.
She has been struggling this evening.
Puts that one up as good.
Weitzel checks in for the Bruins, and so does Eppard.
Oh, I thought Eppard was already in.
Did
they take her out? Yeah, she came in for Simmons.
Okay. I just saw her walk on, so she must have just been talked to by the coach.
Yeah, she was over there talking to one of the new varsity assistant coaches, and I don't want to mess up her name.
Okay. Maybe I will.
Is it Shelby?
Shelby Martin, yes.
It's crazy because the boys have Coach Newland, his wife. His name is Shelby, I believe, as well. So when I pictured Shelby in my mind, it automatically went to her. So
South Adams is doing a good job crashing the boards too.
They're definitely getting the offense and defensive rebounds. Yeah. And there's another one. Nope. Yep.
Jump ball.
Could be a jump ball. And I believe the possession arrow should go Blackford's way.
Yep.
And the Starfire's still going to press.
That's the first three-point attempt that the Starfires have either missed or not been fouled on. Oh, and she loses the handle.
Man, not good. Oh, she tries chucking up a three, but it's blocked. I believe that was by Reagan Harding. And with that, let's get into some more sponsorships, and we'll be right back with the second period.
Suffering from neck, back, or joint pain? Clear Choice Chiropractic can help. From neck pain, migraines, stress, or a colicky baby, Clear Choice Chiropractic has the tools necessary to help you live pain-free. Call Dr. Malia Robertson today at 765-329-5044 and schedule an appointment. Don't live another day in pain. Call now, 765-329-5044, or stop in and visit them at 1501 North Walnut Street in Hartford City.
Hey, there's plenty in the stands. You hear them every game.
Exactly. All right, we are back. The second period going to be getting underway here shortly. And with that, let's go ahead and get into one more ad until we can't anymore.
Have an insurance claim suffered to your home or business and not quite sure if you're getting the settlement you deserve? If so, contact Jeremy and the team of CMA Claim Management Adjusters for a free claim consultation. Nationally recognized as one of the nation's most respected public adjusting firms, CMA handles all types of insurance claims: fire, theft, hail, flood, and many more. Large or small, we settle them all, ensuring you get everything you're entitled to. Contact CMA today for a free consultation at 844-CMA-9110 or visit their website at www.claimmanagementadjusters.com.
We are back. The Starfires got the ball we got the ball to start with, right?
No, South Adams got the first possession.
And look at that, another turnover by the Bruins, and the Starfires are just tearing it up for us.
When you're down 11 points, that ball's got to be gold. You've got to take care of it. There, South Adams did something that they haven't done a lot of, and that's air ball a three.
A three, and then luckily she tried to throw the ball off of the Bruins, but the official was able to see that she had her foot on the line. Oh, she held her. And Kylie Eppert's trying to throw one up. That should have been Blackford ball.
Didn't get the contact call or the ball. So yeah, I thought it was tipped a little bit there. Blackford trails 19-8, and South Adams' ability to hit their shots and get to the foul line, and then also about a half a dozen turnovers has been the cause of Blackford getting behind so quickly tonight.
It is not a good night, that's for sure. This is probably the worst basketball I've seen the girls play, even after last year. This is not good at all.
Well, South Adams did come out very aggressive, and their Waters gets to the hole and just can't get the ball to go down. Blackford was 3 for 13 in the first quarter shooting and did not get to the foul line, while South Adams hit 5 out of 10 free throws. So that's a big deal.
5 points, if you take that away, you're not down by as many, and that one's going to be another turnover. J.C. Sones dribbles it, gets a little out of control with it.
And the odd thing there is South Adams has definitely been the more aggressive team, and usually that's, they started out, I think the fouls were pretty even, and now Blackford has more fouls, and it's just because they're getting beat defensively, and that step they're having to make up is costing them the foul.
Yeah, jump ball by Reagan Harding, and I'm pretty sure that the Starfires realized they didn't want to deal with that stuff anymore.
No.
Reagan threw him on the floor.
Yep, that was the end of it.
That may be the last time that happens again.
Well, I was getting ready to say they'd been breaking the press pretty well, but just as I had that thought, we throw the ball out of bounds.
Turn it over. Turnovers are going to kill us.
Yeah, you can't get shot opportunities at all when you don't get the ball down court. And right now, we can't waste any possessions at all. Another three.
That one's a little off. Rebound by the shortest person on the court. And she's going to go ahead and bring it up, and she's going to get it taken away. And this is going to be a free basket.
Left side. Oh.
Olivia Waters.
That's 2 or 3 blocks for her already, and I think she had a half a dozen up at Southwood.
She had a half a dozen against Fort Wayne, and they were all that right there. She is good about letting you get up. And, the Starfires had another one. But she is good about letting you take the ball to the basket, and she'll come in behind you with those long arms and just tip the ball out of your hands.
Been watching LeBron James.
Apparently.
Yeah. If she pins one on the backboard, though, I'll be impressed.
If she does that,
yes,
I'd
if
be
she
impressed.
does.
Olivia struggled with cramps during the Generals game.
And
What do we got?
I think they called an offensive foul.
I think it was a charge against Kaylee Hodges. It was against Hodges.
Must have been a moving pick because I wouldn't have seen anything else that would have caused that offensive foul. Tell you what, I was impressed with Hodges, the JV game. Up there at Wabash with Stan Bazzi, we actually broadcast the JV game as well. There's 3 more points, and that's by Kristen Wynn. And Hodges just was all over the court in that JV game. Her and Kylie Eppert both were very impressive in that JV contest. And I know they lost, but they still were just everywhere. And even the Bob Stambazzi from Wabash was going on and on and on about this freshman class in general.
Yeah.
And he said, boy, they're going to be good. And because they were playing juniors and seniors up there at Southwood, and Southwood had a pair of girls with 17 points apiece. And the one thing I have noticed is, even in girls basketball, that three-point line, it seems like sometimes you're not allowed to go in front of it because, boy, they don't hesitate to chuck them up out there.
No, they don't. Oh, and that one's not got any chance of going in.
Now, a little off balance there. And
yeah, if there's one thing that I will there's a few things that I would critique about this team. One of the major things that I would critique about this team we have this year is they're shooting way too many outside shots. You got to try to get that ball down there and get some of them easy buckets in the paint. And if you look at the way their offense is set up, they're set up all around the perimeter, so the paint should be wide open for you.
Right, and I'll tell you, Southwood started out shooting threes that night and actually started posting up on the block. And South Adams has done that several times to us. They're getting somebody on that right block underneath the basket, and those shots are pretty high percentage. And there's a turnover by South Adams.
That turnover was created. Uh-oh.
Speaking of turnovers, that was the James Harden travel right there. She got away with it, and really that wasn't a great shot. It was kind of a one-handed toss towards the basket. But
yeah, you can't chuck them up like that. You got to square up to the basket and make a good high percentage
And right there,
shot.
we're talking about how South Adams is getting to the foul line and Blackford's not. I'm not too sure Olivia couldn't have driven that in there and maybe get fouled and get to the line.
It's almost like they're afraid of trying to get fouled. Like, don't be afraid to get fouled.
Yeah, you want to get to the line. Those are free points, and that's actually Kaylee Hodges' second foul now, and she hasn't been in the game that long.
Yep, easy points to receive.
It looks like we're going to put Kylie Eppert back in for Hodges. I understand why he's got them in there right now, especially if you're going to try to press. They've got the speed to do that, and there's another free throw, and this girl has shot 2, 4, 6. This will be her 8th attempt on the night.
I feel we're going to go deep into the bench then.
Yeah.
Missed that one. Rebound goes to Waters.
She's 5 for 8, so if we get into a close game at the end of the game, it might be somebody to keep in mind to go ahead and foul and put her at the line. But Blackford right now has got to find a way to get to the basket.
Man.
The turnovers are starting to stack up, and unfortunately the turnovers are leading to easy baskets for South Adams, and it's 25-8 now.
There you go.
Eppert was aggressive and went, and looks like South Adams picked up their 5th team foul. We'll see who it's on.
Looks like they're going to call it on the floor.
Yes.
Is that 15?
Yeah, 15 Seal Scott, and that's going to be her first.
Weitzel with the jumper.
We settle for a lot of jump shots.
Cagel's coming in. Macy Cagel.
1 for 6, 1 for 7. 1 for 12 from 2-point range.
Oh, Lord.
You're going to struggle when you just can't put the basket in the hole. And I'm not sure how many of those shots have even been in the paint. Maybe a few 15-foot jumpers, but we're not getting down in the paint.
No, we're not taking the high percentage shots. And now it looks like South Adams is trying to take those same low percentage three-pointers.
Yeah.
And
now there, she started to go to the hole, and she let him stop her.
oh,
I don't know if that was a pass or a shot, but either way, South Adams comes down with the ball.
And Blackford's not crashing the boards either. They're just kind of standing back and not getting into the mix of it.
Yeah, I'm not keeping track of rebounds tonight, and that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
The stats would not be in our favor currently.
No,
there was a good idea, just too late,
that
and then it
off.
bounced off of her. Yep.
She got it out of bounds and tossed it right into Sohn's knees, and she just kind of looked at it and let it bounce right off.
That is the 11th turnover of the night for the Bruins.
Yeah, you hate to watch a game like this.
Bree Adney is now on the court for the Bruins. Oh, and Eppert is really leaning on number 11. She was lucky she didn't get called for the body foul on the body right there. Another rebound. They're just being more aggressive.
Oh, she traveled. And I'm here to tell you right now, I thought that
I thought that was going to be a foul on Reagan.
I thought it was going to be a foul on Kylie Eppert because she came in like a rugby player to get that ball.
Oh, and she walked.
She did it.
And I was just getting ready to say I see a lot of the girls, and not just Blackford, that just put the ball on the floor once. And I was always, when I coached basketball, I always taught my kids, if you're going to dribble, go somewhere.
Yep.
You know, I've seen kids pick their dribble up out behind the volleyball line, and it's like, why?
Why are you doing that? Yep.
Yeah, you take one dribble.
Oh,
and they,
nice steal by Eppert. Oh, she tries to get it again. They're going to get her with the foul.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't body check while you're reaching in there.
That's her first foul, and Blackford's 8, so they'll go to the line 1-1, and the free throws and the fouls are starting to stack up. And here we go, Kristen Wynn for South Adams, number 11. This will be number 9 attempt on the night.
Reagan Harding with the rebound.
She's obviously being aggressive, because if you can get to the foul line 9 times in the first 14 minutes of the game, that's James Harden type there too.
Yep.
And cross-court pass goes out of bounds, and that's Blackford's 13th turnover of the night. And I can tell you, I think that was exactly what they had for the game at Southwood. So
yeah,
that, there we're back to that we just can't turn the ball over.
Maybe
and 8
a little
points.
Frustration kicking in for the girls.
Yeah. Oh, Kylie Bout had her tied up there.
Eppert is playing some solid defense.
Yep, there's travel, but we'll take it anyway there.
Get the ball either way, and Eppert's just going to go ahead and take that ball up to court.
Boy, and see right there, you have them 5-on-4 because they got a girl down. Somebody's got to get open and go to the basket.
If somebody's either got to get open and go to the basket or just go to the basket yourself.
Yeah, penetrate and dish.
Yeah, take that foul. Get a girl that's not going to be afraid to get in there and mix it up and get that foul.
And I'm not down on the court, but South Adams has been playing a zone, and they must be playing in a very aggressive zone because we really haven't tried to penetrate against it.
Right.
We make a pass inside and take a shot, or we take a three, but we really have not tried to penetrate into the paint.
All right, it looks like we have some kind of an issue here.
Call New York. Tell them to pull them up on the camera.
Not real sure what's going on, but
I don't either. I'm not sure.
We've got a technical foul on Blackford.
Is this happened at Southwood as well. We had a technical for not having a girl in the book. So I don't know if we just had somebody check in.
Alexa Hurd just checked in.
Okay. And that's the second time in 4 games we've either not had somebody in the book or had the wrong number. So South Adams will now get extra free throws due to the technical.
They've got a different girl. She misses the first one, number 35, shooting free throws. I think this is her first time at the line.
Yes, yep.
Hoping to increase their percentage, and she does sink one out of the 2.
I believe, I was going to say, unless the rules have changed, we gave up possession of the ball there as well, so that's actually another turnover, and now South Adams can extend this 26-8 lead even further.
Yep. All right, so here we go. It looks like we have pretty much a whole new team in there. They drive to the basket.
Got to the hole again, just could not finish.
It looked like she had 2 black jerseys that put the body on it.
Yep.
And to be quite honest with you, the only varsity starter on the court right now is Reagan Harding. Macy Cagle gets the rebound.
That was a good rebound, good attempt.
And that one's no good. Rebound again by Alexa Hurd. She's going to hold on to it and wait for the Starfires to get out of her face.
Yeah.
Less than a minute to play.
We're just kind of playing tentative. That's just not a pass you can make. And now she's going to pick up a foul as well, I think.
I believe that's going to be number 2, which is going to put them in double bonus.
We're kind of doing one of the things that we talked about first game of the year, which first game of the year anything could happen because you're just trying to get used to playing. But Southwood wasn't going to the ball. They made almost as many turnovers as Blackford that night, and it was when they were making passes. Their girls were not moving to the ball.
Yes.
And Blackford had quite a few steals that night just because when you're standing there flat-footed waiting for the ball to come to you, there's aggressive people going to go get it.
When your feet are standing in concrete.
Yes, absolutely.
You create opportunities for the opposing team to get the ball. And that's something I've always tried to tell both of my kids is, hey, you always go to the ball. I don't care who's passing it to you. You go get it. You don't let it come to you.
And Olivia Waters gets it across court with 35 seconds left to go. South Adams up 27-8. They won the game last year by 31 points. There's a turnover and a quick – and there's a good –
who was that?
Bree Adney did a good job knocking that away.
She was not having any part of that. Good job by Bree Adney.
She did the right thing, smacked up instead of smack down, because when you reach to smack down, too many officials automatically are thinking foul right away. That girl shuffled her feet before she made that pass out.
All right, the Starfires are going to try to slow this down a little bit.
Yeah, Peyton Priest takes the ball out front. Looks like they're just going to run the clock down, try to get the last shot, and she's going to take it from behind the arc.
There it is. Ooh, that looked good.
Not a way to grab that rebound. That's going to
gets the rebound.
At least keep them from getting jump ball.
You've got to rip that. Yeah, she held on to it and just sat there, and the girl came up, put her hands on it, and Alexa just sat there. She's got to rip that ball out of the hands there.
Yeah, otherwise she's going to get another one off.
Nope, no good.
Boy.
Yeah.
Blackford didn't score that quarter. Got outscored 8-0 as South Adams pulls out to a halftime lead of 27-8.
Yeah. Positive note here. No matter what the score ends up being, they will still have scored more than they did last year. And on that note, we're going to go to break.
Are you looking for a used car at an affordable price? Call Dave Montgomery at Dave's Car Corner. He has the nicest used cars on the market, and you just can't beat the friendly service that Dave Montgomery provides. Located at 1225 North Walnut Street in Hartford City.
Last year, they scored 9 points, so I guess they haven't scored as many as they did last year.
Well, varsity put up 28, but they gave up 59 last year, so
yikes.
They got some work to do to get to the 28.
Auto Sales and Service with Scott Confer and crew have over 85 years of experience in the auto sales and service area. Since 1946, Huggins has been a name you can trust to get you the car or truck you need and providing you with all of your service department needs from their highly trained ASC master technicians. Located at 2603 North Walnut Street in Hartford City, or you can see their inventory at hugginsshowroom.com.
Are you looking for custom shirts for your organization, sports team, or just a fun shirt for vacation? Get a hold of Jordan Massey today on Facebook at Clothing as a Canvas. Contact Jordan with all of your special shirt designs and printing. His creations are amazing and he even does special projects. Contact Jordan now on Facebook at Clothing as a Canvas. All right, everybody, we are back. I'm back here with my good friend Chris Landis. And, Chris, you've been hard at work on the stats sheet. You want to go over a few of those?
Sure. Blackford struggling to put the ball in the hole right now. They're 1 for 16 from 2-point range, 2 for 6 from 3-point range, and as Steve pointed out to me a minute ago that I said the 3-point shooting slowed down, and that was because Blackford has 4 players with 2 fouls apiece, so the 3-point shooters were on the bench most of the second quarter. No free throws attempted. These kids shooting free throws from the foul line right now, paying $1 to win a pop, are each getting one more shot than Blackford did the entire first half.
Yes.
The big stat, 17 turnovers. And I'd be willing to bet that half of those turnovers led to points for South Adams as they were on the break. Most of that half either getting fouled and getting to the line or getting layups.
You know, before we go farther, back to those free throws, the reason we're not getting free throws is we're not trying to take the ball to the hole.
No, we're not penetrating against their zone at all. We're being satisfied with passing it around outside and making maybe one pass to a girl that might be 10 foot away and we take a jump shot and miss. Or we, early on, we were satisfied with passing it around the arc, taking the 3. And right now, Olivia Lease has all 8 of Blackford's points. And so, I mean, lots of things to correct in this second half. And at this point, down 19, coaches got to take it, quarter by quarter this second half and try to get a victory on some things. Cut the turnovers down, get the ball inside. 1 for 16 from 2-point range is just, I don't even know what to say. The percentage-wise, that's 3% or something. It's just not very good.
It's not even worth talking about.
Right. South Adams, on the other hand, 5 for 16 from 2-point range, 3 for 9 from 3-point range. They're 8 for 25 from the field, so they're shooting 32%. And from the foul line, the big stat, 8 for 17. So South Adams has shot 17 free throws to 0 for Blackford.
Oh, man.
And the discrepancy in fouls wasn't terrible. They got 2 on the technical. And other than that, I think Blackford had 11, 12 fouls maybe, and South Adams had 5. But they're being aggressive, getting to the basket. And on top of the fouls and the free throws, we saw Blackford probably blocked a half a dozen shots.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the score to this could be a lot worse than what it is, but here we are. It's still the Bruins down by 19 points, and they've got to change the way they play in basketball right now because if they don't, this score is going to get out of hand. I'm sure the Starfires are in there making, just a few minor adjustments, while Blackford has to make major adjustments to come back out in the second half.
Yeah, and the funny thing here, looking at the stat sheet, Lydia Loesch, the lone senior on this team that was their leading scorer last year and returning leading scorer, has hit 2 out of 4 free throws and has 2 points. They have a sophomore guard at number 11, Kristen Wynn, that led them in the first half with 10 points, half of those coming from the free throw line. And then freshman Peyton Prees, number 25, has 9. So they've got a sophomore and a freshman leading them in scoring right now, 19 of their 27 points, where Blackford has a freshman with all 8 of theirs. So obviously the young kids are leading the way here, and Blackford's going to come out before the 3-minute horn and don't look like they have a lot of pep right now, so hopefully that'll pick up.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have a lot of pep in my step either if I was getting pummeled like I am right now.
As a coach, you just have to find ways saying, hey, girls, we got to forget about the first half. Let's just go play as hard as we can this second half and see what happens.
Yeah, don't be afraid to get fouled, and at this point, why would you even be afraid to do some fouling?
Yeah, right now you have nothing to lose.
Nope.
You lost to the Starfires last year by 31. If I'm talking, I'm going, hey, we're not going to let that happen again. We need to make this deficit go the other way and make it respectable. Or let's win this thing and make them talk about us a little bit the next week.
Yeah. Yeah, if we can pull this one out, we will be talking about it for a couple of weeks, if not months or years.
Yeah, and I've seen stranger things happen.
I'm not saying it can't be done, and I would love to see it done. But if we come out and play the same way we just did, it ain't going to happen.
Yeah. I tell you, the thing that really stood out to me last year when I started covering basketball and I was traveling around, it didn't really matter where I was at, and this was boys more than girls, especially in the tournament. I saw so many teams that, we've talked about the fast pace and chucking them up and not having any fear. Teams quit playing that way in the last 4 minutes of games. I saw, I think it was Brownsburg, that had beat a team twice going into the sectional last year, playing at home, and they lost an 8-point lead in the last 4 minutes and got beat. I watched Delta do that at Marion. Delta's undefeated. They've got a 6-point lead. In the last 4 minutes, they tried to work the ball around. They didn't play the same way, and the next thing you know, they're throwing the ball away, and you can't do that against Marion. And
You're
Marion
talking about
beats them.
regionals last year.
Yeah,
I was
regional.
at that game, and they definitely gave that game away.
Yeah, there's just there were several teams last year, and I watched it happen at even at the semi-state when I went to Lafayette. I unfortunately can't remember every team that was there, but I think it was Wabash. Wabash was playing Andrean.
Yeah.
And I thought Wabash was going to end up getting out of there, slowed the game down, and when they slowed the game down, Andrean able to get some steals. And so, I think sometimes, when you and I were in school, the slow down the four corners, I think is what coaches called it back then, was you worked on it in practice a lot. And I'm not sure how much teams even work on that anymore.
Yeah, well, if there's one thing that you learn is when your team slows down, the other team starts picking up. And you can't play the game to not lose.
Exactly.
You have to play the game to win. And you can there's a way to take time off the clock, but you still have to score. And I think that's what you're talking about happened to Delta last year.
Yes.
Is they stopped scoring, which allowed Marion to continue to score. And then that gave Marion some confidence. They started getting some turnovers.
Yep.
And then on turnovers, they started getting fouls. And Marion ended up coming back and winning that game. I was there. I know you were there before.
Yeah, and I tell you, Delta and Marion both had good teams, so it's not like that. But, Delta quit looking to score.
Yeah.
And it was almost like, I don't want to miss a shot. You take the ball.
Yeah, you can't play that way. You
And,
still have to make those shots. Get the high percentage shots down under the basket in the paint. And if you can't get those, go for the 6-foot jumpers. If you can't get those, you just keep moving your way back.
Yep.
And then reset, restart. That's how you take time off the clock. You still have to try to score. Don't let them take the ball away from
You're
you.
right. And the teams down at the state finals, I loved being at the Final Four last year, and I was down there for the boys and girls and sitting under the basket. Boy, I tell you what, watching Carmel's 6'10 kid that was going to Butler going against the 6'9", 350-pound lineman that was going to Ohio State from Ben Davis, those guys banged around in the inside. But the common denominator of all those teams, boys and girls, they went to the hole. They were in the paint all night. And the teams that settle for jump shots aren't going to get there. You just aren't.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Girls don't really have a sport other than soccer where they can get down and bang underneath the basket. Waters tries chucking up a three and no good. Rebounded by J.C. Sones.
And I tell you, just watching.
3 by Lease is good.
And Lease with all 11 points for Blackford now. She's having a game that's just she needs a little help now. Yeah, I was down at the soccer state finals, and you're right, boy. Those girls down there.
Oh, they're not afraid to
it's
to
like
bang
football
around.
without pads.
Yes, it is.
And we cover all the sports, and watching some rugby, some high school rugby is interesting because, that's obviously not around our territory, but Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, up north, and then lacrosse, too.
Yep.
And it's interesting watching that because those are a lot more physical sports than you would ever think.
I would love to see Blackford get a rugby or a lacrosse girls sport just because, if you can get these girls to learn to bang bodies down underneath, That would open up basketball a lot more, especially if you can get some of those girls to play. Oh, man, I gave the
layup there.
I gave them our three-pointer.
Oh.
Because it was on this end, and I wasn't thinking. But, yeah, I think if you could get them to learn how to get underneath the basket and bang around, there's another steal. Bad pass. Luckily, that one didn't go in. And
the hustle.
They're just out hustling us. Lise is going to try and drive it in, and she gets fouled by number 35.
And that is Lydia Loesch, and that would be her first of the game. I will say last time down court, Blackford got the ball in the paint to Grace Simmons, and just some physical play down there just caused her to miss that shot.
Right.
But I'd like to see him get the ball inside to Reagan, because the way I've seen her just set that pick right there.
Oh, Reagan is not afraid.
Yeah, I think, get her the ball on the block, and let's see what she can do here.
And it does look like they
are in a man-to-man, it looks like now.
It looked like they were in a zone, but it maybe
it has that man-to-man look. Yeah.
Yes.
It might be a matchup.
Oh, and Waters gets a block from behind. The ball goes out of bounds.
And I tell you what, she has done a great job with that tonight, because they're, like you said, it might be 37-11, because I know of at least 4 shots she's blocked inside.
Yep. She did it against the Generals. You said she did it against Southwood.
Yeah, she did.
I'm sure she's done it all season long, or at least David Weddle would say that. Oh, wide open lane for the Starfires.
That was like the parting of the Red Sea right there.
You can't let them have that.
No, and you would hope that they come out and hit that 3, and that would have been over and back anyway. So kind of got away with that, and then they traveled after they got it.
Yeah, we got away with one there. It was definitely going to be an over and back.
Yeah, J.C. Soames was still in the air. If she'd have caught that, it would have been over and back.
Yep.
But you would hope, Olivia comes down, hits the 3, cuts it to 27-11, and maybe give them a little spark, and the next thing you know, we got 2 or 3 turnovers, and they hit a couple wide open shots.
Right, and now we've got a timeout by the Starfires, I believe.
Yep.
A 30-second. And it doesn't look like the Bruins have really come out with much of a different game plan. Maybe they're just trying to execute the game plan they came here with, and it doesn't seem to be working. Starfires seem to have their number.
Well, I will say one thing is, this is South Adams' first game of the year, so Coach has got nothing but maybe a scrimmage tape to look at.
Right.
Where Blackford's played 3 games, and that's 3 opportunities they had to scout, and that can make a big difference.
Right, and our team hasn't really I can't say it's not changed. It has changed a lot.
Yes.
With the bad pass. But we've got a foul on Starfires.
Yes, I think they're going to call a hold, and thank goodness, because that pass was going the other way.
Number 35 picking up her second.
Yep.
So we've got like 6, 7 girls with 2 fouls already.
Yeah, we've got way too many with 2 fouls.
And got to get
There's
the ball
Lise.
in.
Oh, I think she was going to take it, but the defense got there pretty quick. Waters is going to take it.
And
that's her first of the night.
It is about time.
0 for 4 on her first 4 attempts, but she nails the 5th one, and that's 2 3-pointers, and they've already scored.
We've got a block by Harding. Simmons has got the ball, almost gets it taken away.
There, go all the way in. Nope, she's going to pull back out.
Yeah,
I'd love to see her take that in there on the block and go for the 3-point play the old-fashioned way, I guess what you'd say.
I like the old-fashioned.
There, Gracie goes
Simmons.
to it, yeah.
I was going to say thank you. That was definitely a foul.
Yeah.
I think I heard it through the microphone.
Reaching in, definitely, on number
that's
11.
Number 11. That's 3 for her.
Yes, so they have
and
a girl
she's
that's
take a seat.
Yep, they got a girl in foul trouble as well. Now, the one fun thing about my job is traveling all over. I get to see all kinds of great athletes.
Yep.
I've seen the big schools. I've been at Avon, and this fall that was pretty cool. There was probably 10,000 people there for that football game, and how I know that's because after the game they were all on the field while we were trying to find coaches and players to talk to. But that game, that was a great game, and it ended up like 7-3.
Oh,
and
that is a good game.
It was one of those games, and it was supposed to be a 35-31 game. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, so it worked backwards, and got to take care of the ball again. And then I was at the Lewis Cass Pioneer sectional game, which is a smaller school, And, Lewis Cass, two-time defending champion, Pioneer two-time defending champion, and Lewis Cass put it to him.
Really?
And then Lewis Cass got eliminated last night by Andrean. Just some interesting things going on this fall it's great to see all the athletes.
I know most people know exactly what you do, at least from in the Blackford area, but I'm sure there's some people that don't know what you do. Why don't you talk about that?
What I'm doing is I'm the general manager for State Champ Sports Network, and we cover every sport in Indiana. They cover hockey I already talked about the other ones. They cover hockey up in Fort Wayne and up north in the winter. We try to always do a feature. We've had a couple features on recently of two brothers that when they're not playing football for DeKalb, that might have been an over and back. When they're not playing football for DeKalb, they race.
Really?
And then there was also a young man up in Fort Wayne area that is training. He's flying and trying to get his pilot license. And then it's also enabled me to do interviews with Charlie Spiegel, who's got the career record for everything running a football you can have in Indiana.
Nice steal by Grace Simmons.
Grace is
going to have
in.
a wide open basket.
Yes.
Good.
We have a main event that we do every week, and I decide where we're going and what we're going to cover, and that's the one thing I've wanted to get done while I'm doing this is I've got Pat Kemp and a couple other people in Central Indiana now that are filming for me. Plus, I've started filming, and I want to make sure that we're not so Indianapolis heavy.
Right.
That and I've been asked that question. This is another way to get Indianapolis on.
Well, I know when you get to do what we're getting to do now, and with the broadcasting, I have to email IHSA a lot. Pay fees through them for doing sectionals and regional stuff like that.
Right.
But they actually sent me a email before the school year started asking me to become a member of what you do. So how does that work?
Well, what I do is I've got freelancers all over the state. The majority of them are in Indianapolis. So, that's just the way it's worked out. I've got a guy that contacted me this way that's up in Wabash, and I've got a couple other guys that are in southern Indiana, and I actually have even talked to Scott Schick. Now, he's living down in Madison going, hey, we don't have coverage down there. We've partnered with TV stations in Terre Haute, Evansville, Fort Wayne, and even a few times we've been able to get South Bend as well. So we show highlights on Sunday, and we're on Fox TV on Sunday, plus every possible social media outlet you could think of. And
I think I subscribe to your Facebook and your Instagram.
Okay. And we've started on YouTube. And then we also have a web page that we put articles on. I've actually written articles for the web page. I'm now doing some filming just because we're kind of shorthanded on freelancers right now. So last night I was at the Eastbrook Eastside game. But I schedule people, I hire people. What we do is if you were interested in that, like highlights from Blackford's game, if you would download those and send them to our home office in Michigan, then that would be a part of our show. And we're actually getting ready to expand. Fox is, to no surprise, Fox is kind of expensive. So, and they could raise the price on us at any time. That's what our boss has told us. So, after the fall season and football season is complete, we will be going strictly digital. So we're going to be on Roku.
Oh, really?
We're going to be on some of those stations that you can get, and then we're going to keep all of our social media stuff. We're going to try to the state champs in Michigan actually has won 6 Emmys for some of the programs they put together, and we're trying to put a special together on Rick Mount, actually, which was kind of odd that he was just at Blackford. The president of our company loves him and what he did at Purdue and in his time playing basketball.
Got to go to the ball.
So he's wanting to do a feature on him, so that's something that we also do. And then we have a talk show that every Monday I end up
35 picking up, I believe that's her third foul.
Yes, it is.
Now
Yes, it is.
the tides have turned a little bit.
Yes, and Blackford's got it down to 17 as Lease and Waters have been able to score again. I drive up to Mulberry, Indiana, which I never knew where that was, but it's about 10 minutes away from Purdue. And we have a show in the fall that's called Extra Point Indiana, and we talk nothing about, it's all football, what happened last Friday, what games are this week. We highlight some great efforts from that past week, and just last week we talked about Scott Terry's son, Maverick.
Yeah.
Scott, the Blackford graduate, and his son, Maverick, just set the career rushing record at Bloomington South. And funny enough, the record that he broke was set by Nick Dunbar, who played for Ball State. So it's kind of a big deal that he did that. And then here in the winter, we do one that's called Hang Time Indiana, and obviously it's all basketball. And Greg Rakestraw, who is he works a lot for the IHSAA. He runs the ISC Sports Network, and he also did the 4 Colts preseason games, and now he's doing post-game talk shows, which he told me on one Thursday night, or no, they did a Sunday night game. He was actually taking phone calls till 2 o'clock in the morning and then showed up for our show the next day.
Nice.
So, but I have Bob Stambazzi from up north. That way we kind of cover the entire state. He can talk about a lot of teams up there. I throw in a lot of information about our area. And then also Mark Forrester.
Nice jump ball.
And I guess we need to make note that Blackford's first free throws of the game came with 7 seconds left in the third quarter.
Yes, and we were talking, so I didn't want to interrupt you, but
oh my gosh. That girl hit 2 threes in a row in the last 20 seconds of the quarter, and the 16-point lead is right back up to 22.
Yep, and with that, we've got to get back to our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
American Veterans, or AMVETS. Our mission is to help all veterans secure the benefits they're entitled to as part of their enlistment. If you're a veteran and have never registered with the VA, contact us to discover all the benefits you may be entitled to. Our service officers are local in VA hospitals in Fort Wayne, Marion, and Indianapolis. They're certified to file a VA claim for you and see it through at no charge to you. Contact AMVETS at the number listed below.
In penetration, because there's going to be nights you can't hit.
Exactly. We were just talking about it, and we'll come back and talk about it.
Auto Sales and Service with Scott Confer and crew have over 85 years of experience in the auto sales and service area. Since 1946, Huggins has been a name you can trust to get you the car or truck you need and providing you with all of your service department needs from their highly trained ASC master technicians. Located at 2603 North Walnut Street in Hartford City, or you can see their inventory at hugginsshowroom.com.
All right, we are back. Yeah, and that's and we'll talk about that one right now. Harding was down in the paint, got a rebound, walked all the way out to the top of the that volleyball line, and then handed it off wide open the whole time.
Yep.
She's got to take those shots.
Yes, she does. And Weitzel just missed a 3, and it was her first shot of the game. But she's been in foul trouble.
You have to. I mean, I just don't. This is going back to what I like to call last year basketball. And you can't play like that.
Well, they just fouled number 25, Peyton Priest, who she misses that one. She's been to the line 5 times now tonight and only hit 1. So
we'll take that.
Yeah, but 45-21. But, yeah, just to finish up real quick, Mark Forrester comes and works for us as well from WLBC and 1340 AM. And he's a great guy and he's able to talk a lot about Central Indiana as well. There's 2 shots and a couple of rebounds, so that's positive.
We're getting too excited and we're throwing the ball up over the basket.
Yep.
That's all it is. We're getting too anxious and just completely missing. We're
getting a ton of rebounds right now.
good offensive boards by the Bruins, but the shot selection and the shot, nobody's squaring up to the basket. There's just a bunch of ugly looking shots. There's a contested
She
shot.
got to the basket. Nope.
That one's going to go. Oh!
I thought that was going to be Blackford's ball.
I did too. I'm kind of wondering what happened there. I must have missed it.
But, yeah, I appreciate you having me on tonight because a lot of what I'm trying to do is obviously PR work as well. I'm actually the only full-time employee in Indiana trying to run this thing, and I'm dealing with sales as well, which we have to start getting more of, obviously, sponsors, because as you well know, you can't work for nothing. And right now, Lawrence Tech University up in Michigan is getting us going. They've been up in Michigan for 17 years, and this is just the second year in Indiana.
Oh, a nice steal by Cagle. This one's going to end up being over and back.
Yep. That's turnover number 13 for the Starfires. So I'm trying to get on shows like this, and I've been on with Wabash. I'm going to – Mark Forrester's going to have me on, just trying to get the word out.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you letting me talk about it a little bit.
No, I mean, otherwise it's just going to be me here. And I probably would have said something completely inappropriate and wrong about this game because there's so many things that I do want to say. But I'm glad you're here to help me keep me in check.
There was Lise again. She is open but unable to put it down.
Oh, man, that should be a foul, Starfire. She body checked, yes, and they are going to call it on number 53.
And 53, that's going to be her first.
I think she thought she was going into the scrum, and she was in the wrong sport.
Thought they were going to slide into the band there for a minute. And, hey, Blackford's back at the foul line, so make sure you write this time down.
Yes.
5:50 in the fourth quarter, and it's just going to be their third free throw attempt of the game. Erin Cagle 1 for 2 so far. And this
now
is
her younger sister.
Yeah, her sister misses her attempt.
Oh, I think that's going to be number 3 for Waters. She's going to allow number 25. That's at Peyton, isn't it? No, that's her first foul. I thought she had one more.
Nope, that's actually her first.
I'll be darned.
25 is back at the line. Priest, she is the one that's 1 for 5, and now she's 1 for 6.
Oh, I thought she had hit or attempted more than that.
No, it's number 11 that's lived there.
And
she got one.
Wow.
So
well,
2 for 7 for Priest.
There we go. Got the ball
Lise,
down.
good fake. Goes to the hole, and it won't fall,
No
and I think that's going to be over the back on Cagle.
Cagle, yes.
That's going to be her first, I believe.
Yeah, should be.
I do like the fact of getting to the hole, getting the ball down on the block, and getting some closer shots. That's a good thing. We're not just pumping up threes.
Yeah, stay away from them threes. They need to have a couple of games where they don't even try.
We've hit 4 tonight, but obviously, attempt-wise, you want to be around 33% from out there. And I don't think that is the case at this point.
I don't think so. And
South Adams might be close.
Oh, they just gave her a 3 for that one. I thought she was a little inside, but
South Adams is 6 for 12.
Oh,
so they're shooting 50%. So that's a little bit different.
Yep. And Waters drives it in a little bit too hard. Oh,
unable to get it on the board. I think she poked that girl's eye out too. I'm not sure.
Well, I think she got her revenge. She pushed her down.
She
That's
was
going to be
set.
a charge.
Yes.
She was planted there.
She was waiting on her.
She was starting to grow roots. Blackford's going to get the ball. Simmons, that's why I love her. She's not afraid to get hit. She don't care who you are.
I loved watching her in soccer.
Oh,
she is a great defender back there. Just she hustles and she isn't afraid to take anybody on.
No, she's not.
So yeah, I enjoyed watching her play soccer this fall.
Yes, she's a lot of fun to watch. She is definitely.
Yeah, Blackford in that area is kind of. Oh, Waters connects. That's her 7th point of the night.
Oh, and Grace with a turnover.
Oh,
Waters
right
tries
back.
throwing. Broadcast that one.
Yep.
And that one's going to be no good. Harding gives it a tip out to
J.C. Sones.
Now we've got to bring that ball up to court. We've got to move quick. 4 minutes, 23 to go. And we're down by 26.
Yep. Dribble, and there we go.
Nope. Sones with the rebound. Oh, they're just going to reach in and grab a hold of it.
I don't know what they're going to call there.
Jump ball. I don't know who. That goes to the Starfires, so we get the next one. I'm not good at keeping track of that.
So Blackford is 4 for 16 from three-point range.
That's 25%.
Yeah.
Not the 33 that you're looking for.
Nope.
A nice block by Harding.
Ooh, she got her on that one.
Yeah, that looked, of course, we're all the way across the court here, but it looked clean.
And that's going to be Harding's first?
Second.
Okay.
Is what they're scoring her with. And that's sending that Peyton. I don't remember.
Peyton Priest.
Priest.
Yep.
And she hits
it. So now she is 3 for 8 on the night, and she's getting ready to shoot her 9th. Kristen Wynn shot 9 free throws in the first half and has not been back to the foul line this half.
And she hits them both. Hit both of them. Now the Bruins down by 28. And it looks like number 13 is that
Hodges?
I think it is.
Yep, Kaylee Hodges, freshman.
And Waters takes a seat along with Lease.
Yep.
That
bounce
one gets
pass.
taken away.
Yep, needed a bounce pass there. I don't know whose
Another
ball
jump
that is.
That is going to be our ball.
Our ball. Blackford is sitting on 22 turnovers.
Oh.
That is
not a stat you want to have.
Just reminiscent of the hard times when they struggled last year.
Yes, she got that one and chucked it right up.
Yep.
Misses. And this is going to be what we like to call cherry picking back in my days. The fast break, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Wide open, 2 points.
No.
And
there's
Sissy Reed
couldn't catch
handle
the ball.
that one.
Yeah.
Another long football pass.
And
it's going to be a 3.
They backed off of her.
Good.
As soon as that defense sagged off, she was not even hesitant.
Nope. She was going to let it fly. As I don't even remember the guy's name from Along Came Polly. Make it rain.
Yep.
There's going to be a foul.
Yeah, South Adams is now 7 for 13 from three-point range. That's just unbelievable, but they're getting open looks and they have their feet set. A lot of our threes are coming on the run, or we're dribbling down and immediately pulling up and taking the jump shot out there. Grace is at the line. That's makes Blackford 1 for 4 on the night from the foul line.
Well, 25%. That's nowhere near what you want to be at the free throw line.
South Adams is now 11 for 23. So they're not shooting great from there, but they are getting plenty of opportunities.
Well, take 11 points away. What's that give you? 45.
Yeah.
You're only down by 22 then instead of 28. And both of them missed. So we're 1 for 6 now.
Yep. Just having a hard time getting the ball in the hole tonight.
Yes.
And this is what they struggled with a little bit at Southwood the night I was there. Obviously, they haven't struggled on the nights that they've won with that, but the turnover count is almost double what it was against Southwood, and they're missing shots. So, I think if they played Southwood again, I think that they could beat Southwood. The only thing is I know Southwood had some girls missing because of fall break practices. Evidently, practices were over fall break, so they had some girls, including
Southwood was?
Yes, including a 6'2" girl that was not eligible to play against us the night that Blackford went up there and played.
Yikes.
So
hey, that's part of the game, I guess.
Yeah, no different than an injury.
Nope.
Everybody has to deal with it. So
that's right. Sissy Reed at the line. Oh, we're in double bonus now.
And that
misses her first. That's 1 for 7, right?
1 for 6.
6.
No, you're right.
1 for 7.
Well, this is 7. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Now you're right.
All right.
1 for 7.
Oh, that's close enough for me. As I always say, it's good enough for government work.
South Adams had the ball in the corner. Boy, they got that ball inside, too, and I don't know how they did that.
Now Reed's going to pick up her first foul.
Blackford looked like they had them pretty well closed off there, and they still end up getting the ball in the lane. When you play a team like South Adams, I guess one of the things that I'm looking at is they only have 10 players. So either they got 10 pretty good players with a little bit of depth, or they're going to be really struggling because they just aren't getting kids out for the team. And I would say that South Adams has some depth in that 10 players that they have, but they've had a sophomore and a freshman step up tonight and really play well.
I talked to their AD on the way in, and I asked him, hey, how's your team doing this year? I mean, for the last 2 years, you've been a dominating force. And he was like, we're young.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but we're young too, but you're still putting a hammer to us. Not as bad, but you're still putting it to us.
Yeah. And, they struggled for a few years. There was a few years their girls program was really not good.
That's what I'd heard. I think that was before the core group of girls from last year. They're the ones that graduated. And they've actually got one girl from that team last year that's playing on a scholarship to play volleyball, and another one that's playing for Anderson University on a scholarship for basketball.
Well, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously they were athletic girls. So.
Yeah. Well, they used to have some – they had it's been a while, obviously, but they excuse me, I'm going to mark it down another free throw here for them. When I coached softball, they had several girls that came down and played in the fall league we had, and they all ended up going to college and playing. So they used to have some pretty good athletes, and their boys – obviously, we talked about football earlier. Their boys have some great athletes.
Yeah.
Their quarterback.
Briadney tries chucking up a three.
Their quarterback was being recruited by Harvard, which was kind of funny. It was like, that's not a bad thing because if you're not going to the NFL, that's a pretty good diploma to have.
Now, you might know a little better than I do. Harvard doesn't give out athletic scholarships, right?
They
give out
probably
academic.
call them athletic scholarships, or they probably call them academic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you can get. Yep, great play by Hodges there, and she's fouled. So Blackford will get to the line again. Melissa Forkham went to Harvard, and she went down there and played volleyball. So I know there's a way to get financial help. I just don't know if they can call them athletic scholarships.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was in the Marine Corps with a guy, and his friend received a scholarship. They contacted him to play baseball.
Okay.
But they actually gave him an academic scholarship because back then he had a 4.2 or something like that, some crazy GPA.
Well, I know when I was coaching and trying to get a lot of kids, as many kids as I could to college, that academic stuff, especially with the girls, really was helpful because a lot of times they can't just give academic scholarships. But the girls' academics were good enough that a lot of them, were paying $1,000 a year to go to school.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I'm kind of hoping that maybe my daughter can get something like that.
Yeah.
Because
well, you know what? The way I found out when I coached, I used to write to about 250 schools, and if a kid wants to play, there's a school out there they can play for.
Yes.
And my biggest thing was when I used to send information out to schools, I always made the girls tell me, and boys, what's your GPA and what do you want to study, because there's no use sending stuff to a school that doesn't have your major.
No use in wanting to be a lawyer and applying at IU and trying to play at IU.
Exactly. And with the girls, a lot of it was I want to go into nursing, and some of the schools they were looking at was like,
you can't get into nursing.
You're not going to be able to be in nursing there.
Yeah. Hurd chucks up a three, no good. Rebound goes to Cagle.
Blackford has done a better job rebounding this half, too. They've really been able to get some offensive boards. I think Hurd's going to get that one.
Yep. I think she gave her the old WWF
from behind there.
And the Bruins have 9 fouls, so the Starfires are going to go to the line for a 1-and-1.
This is 20-something. It's one thing about having the long hair and back. I think it was 23. So that was going to be her 4th attempt.
Oh, they had a player, number 55, that jumped into the lane.
Okay. So that's actually – South Adams has 18 turnovers now, but Blackford's up to 25. And I think South Adams has capitalized on more of ours. Yep.
I hate
Little
to laugh
traveling
at her,
music.
but
I know.
that was actually kind of funny. She knew it. She got caught up with her own teammate, and
You got to like the fact there's no quit in Blackford, though. They're down here pressing, and they just haven't walked to the other end and said, okay, run the clock out.
Yep.
They're still fighting, and they're still creating turnovers. So
we got to go to that ball.
this is just a good time for some experience for these kids that might not get on the court as much.
Yep. There's 44 seconds remaining.
Good pass.
That's the pass that you're looking for all night long. It's finally coming with 35 seconds.
And there's the aggression again, and see if we can get another steal and maybe cut this back down a little bit.
They're just going to hold on to it.
Yeah. If I was them, I wouldn't even try to pass because right now they're not taking care of the ball very well either.
Right.
I wasn't. I was wondering if that was going to be a foul or what we were going to call there. So
the officials, I mean, they've done a really good job considering the type of game we're playing here.
It can be tough to officiate games like this, just like it can be tough to play in games like this. Because, when you're down like this, it is difficult to stay in it sometimes, whether you're winning or losing.
Yes. And I would imagine that the officials, when it gets to something like this, they kind of like to let things just go. Especially
there was times
that
times that we had conversations about that out on the court.
Yeah,
we even did it in football a couple times. And there's another turnover,
and they're not going to get it in time.
And that clock's going to run out.
All right, we're going to get into just one ad, and then we'll come back with the post-game recap.
Are you looking for a used car at an affordable price? Call Dave Montgomery at Dave's Car Corner. He has the nicest used cars on the market, and you just can't beat the friendly service that Dave Montgomery provides. Located at 1225 North Walnut Street in Hartford City.
All right, we are back. The final. The Starfires with 56, the Bruins with 26. And, I'm sure you're getting ready to tell me here, Chris, but this one's going to land solely on the Bruins with turnovers and shooting percentages. And I know you're probably still figuring it up, so I'll let you go with that. And, again, we apologize for not being able to live stream this one. I don't know what it is with their Wi-Fi here, but it just does not work well at all.
Yeah, you're right. Well, what I'm going to tell you, Blackford was 10 for 54 on the night from the field. So about 15%. They were 6 for 34 from two-point range, 4 for 20 from three-point range, and even struggled at the line 2 for 9. So 22% from the foul line as well. Lease led the Bruins with 13 points. Waters had 7. Simmons contributed 2. Hurd had 2. Kaylee Hodges had 1 from the foul line, as did Aaron Cagle. South Adams got ahead in the first quarter, 19-8. Outscored Blackford 8-0 in the second quarter. Blackford had their best quarter of the night in the third, but they were still outscored 16-13. And then in the fourth quarter, South Adams with the edge, 13-5 to win, 56-26. Turnovers, Blackford 26 turnovers. Oh. That's back up there around last year where I know, I think I looked up stats before the first game, and I think they averaged right around 25 turnovers a game last year.
Yeah.
They've got to get that back down around 12 or 13, and obviously when you shoot 15% from the field and you look what South Adams did, South Adams was 7 for 13 just from three-point range. So I would.
That's actually not that bad.
That's very good. And looking at the other shots, it looks like they shot probably 50% on the night from the field. And then getting to the foul line over 20 times.
You're talking keys to the game there.
Yeah.
If you can get to a free throw line.
Oh, absolutely.
And hit just half of them, that gives you 10 points.
Yeah. And they just were more aggressive. And like I said, their three-point shots that they were taking, 7 for 13, they were getting open, getting their feet set, and getting good looks. And several times Blackford defense sagged off and left him out there. And when you're shooting that kind of percentage, I got to know what kind of gum you're chewing. And Blackford.
Exactly.
Yeah, on the other end, Blackford was shooting a lot of their threes on the move, right off the dribble on jump shots. And if that's what they're doing in practice, obviously they're doing what they're in practice. But that just having a hard time to get those shots go down. 4 for 20 from three-point range. That's 20%. And
I want to say, like I say, I've only watched, this is only my second game being able to watch them, but I want to say that their shooting percentage tonight is probably better than they did earlier this week against Fort Wayne.
Really? Well, I will say.
Because I remember talking to Coach Waters about it after the game. I was like, you get shot like 15%.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I know. It wasn't a good night. And yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
That's something that needs to be fixed.
But they're 2-2 right now, which is obviously improvement over last year.
Oh, yeah.
The team in general, I like the hustle. I like the way, even at Southwood, I like the way they played. You get down 20 points. It's tough to come back from that. And tonight, they weren't able to make a dent even like they did that night at Southwood. But, Bob Stambazzi and I talked that night, and we said if they played this game again and Blackford didn't get off to that slow start and maybe the nerves from just being the first game are gone, they probably win that game and they'd have been 3-0 coming into tonight.
They seem to get off to slow starts every game. If they can at least keep it close in that first quarter, then the ending or the outcome of the game might be different. And that's all you need is that's all this team needs is to keep it close, because it seems like once they get behind, they can't catch back up.
Well, I don't know.
They're not built for that.
Obviously, I'm not coaching, and I wouldn't tell Coach Waters what to do, but a lot of teams that get off the slow starts and see that in their team, a lot of them will come out and press right away.
Yeah.
You get a couple steals, maybe a couple easy buckets real quick, and then get your team going, but that may not be the makeup of Blackford.
Right.
You've got to play with what's best for your team.
I don't know if you saw it in the first quarter, but we didn't have the opportunity because we weren't scoring.
No.
And the Starfires were, so we were the one getting pressed.
Right.
And not being able to press. If we could have scored some baskets early on, then maybe we can have that opportunity to press, but there just was no real opportunities, and the Starfires did a fantastic job of beating that press anyway.
Yeah, and you got to give South Adams a lot of credit. I know we talked about their numbers and how you kind of gauge that coming into a game, but there's a lot of times that hurts a team too, because in practice, one kid's sick, you can't even scrimmage.
Yeah.
And you don't know what that second five is like, and if they're not helping your first five get better, that can be a thing. Because I know again, I've been out of school for a while, but when I was in school, our JV could beat the varsity on certain nights.
Yes.
And you know what? That's what makes that varsity better. So having 10 players can hurt in more ways than people even think about, because in practice, how do you practice?
Yes, exactly. And I can tell you for a fact that's exactly what's happening with Blackford's boys varsity and JV. The JV is getting to the point where the second string or your bench players are beating your starters.
And that's a good thing.
That is.
It keeps them awake. It keeps them, in tune. Coaches got to be using that, going, listen, guys.
Yes.
You're supposed to be my best five. You're getting beat by the JV.
Well, I told my son, because he had an incident with another player, Brandon Strobel, actually broke his tooth.
Oh.
And he got a cut on his forehead. The two collided, and I said, and I told him, I was like, listen, the reason that happens is because they know everything about you. They know your tendencies. They know your habits. So you're harder to get by than your normal player. I said, and that's what keeps you getting better is now he knows, okay, this guy knows what I can do and what my tendencies are, so I have to change that.
Yep.
And I said, you changed, and that's why you collided.
Right.
And he said, I never thought of that.
The
light bulb moment.
Yeah. And back in the day, too, things were different, and I know schools all did this. They would bring in graduates.
Yep.
We had adults that were pretty good basketball players that came in, and they scrimmaged your varsity, and now that's, illegal.
Right.
So, Yeah, practice is very important, and being able to test your varsity and make them improve.
Yes.
Because if they're just going through the motions because they know they can beat you by 30 in a scrimmage, that is
You're
not helping anybody.
Not at all.
That's not helping the JV getting beat by 30, and it sure as heck isn't helping your varsity because that's not realistic to what's going to happen on Friday night.
Absolutely.
In Blackford, the girls and the boys play a tough schedule, and the CIC's no pushover.
No.
Obviously, we still got Eastbrook going in football state finals. We had Miss Cinewall until last night.
Yes, and I'd just like to say congratulations, East Noble. Great victory.
I know why you said that, I think, because I was at that game with Marion.
Yes.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
I am a Marion alum.
Yeah.
But I moved to Blackford, and my brother, who's also a Marion alum, moved to Gas City.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a brotherly love / rivalry that we like to. So I haven't actually called him and congratulated him on his loss yet, but I do plan on doing that.
But, schedules, you play who's on your schedule. You can't control conference teams and how good they are, Where I'm at over there's a couple schools that barely have enough kids to have a team, but you still have to play them. They're in your conference.
That's
and kids still have to go out and perform, and I don't want to get into the Luke Brown thing here, but it doesn't matter who the kid is.
Yeah.
Whether it's Jalen Blackman, whether it's Trace Young Davis,
Tayson Parker.
Yeah, whoever it is, they still have to go out and play.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who your competition is because the better you are, the better your competition is going to play anyway.
That's right.
Because they're going to go, I don't want him putting up 40 tonight.
Exactly, and they're going to go out and they're going to try to find all the film that they can on you, and believe me, Luke Brown has enough of it out there.
Well,
so does all these other players.
And not even that. Delta last year, they played well against Luke in the sectional. But you know what? They did the same thing to the kid from Newcastle.
Yeah.
And that was during
Bumbleau.
the regular season. Yeah, Bumbleau. During the regular season, first half, he had his way, kind of like how Luke did the first quarter.
Yep.
And I think he put 13 points up, and he didn't score again until he hit a three-pointer at the end of the game that didn't matter.
Didn't matter, yep. By then it was already over.
And Newcastle was ahead at halftime by 6, and Delta came back and won the game, and they were like, shut him down.
Yep, that's
so.
At this age, anything can happen.
Absolutely, they're high school kids.
Yeah, in the pros, probably not. His name just escaped me. You mentioned him earlier. He's always going to have his 20 and 30-point night. Yeah, Harden, thank you.
Yeah, Harden, yep.
Yeah, he's always going to have his 20, 30, and 40-point nights. But here at Indiana High School basketball, on any given day, as long as that day ends in Y, anything can happen.
And it's any sport. It's not even just that, you know. I watched some great volleyball last week, 2 weeks ago now, and, I thought Wapahani was going to go in there, Munciana, and they just didn't have it that day.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but one of their players actually has a torn MCL.
Oh, really?
One of their better players has a torn MCL.
Okay.
So she wasn't on her A game.
Yeah.
And she actually beat herself up over that loss, thinking that it was a lot of her.
More than one person.
Exactly. That's why we call them team sports.
Yeah, exactly.
And not individual sports.
Yeah, I was down at Carmel, and just totally different tennis here. And, around our area, we hope to have enough to have a tennis team, and I think it's 7. You have to have 7 to be able to even put a team out there.
Yeah.
Well, I go down there and interview in Carmel, who just won their 4th straight state championship. And you want to know why they won? Because this year they cut down to 50 kids in their tennis program.
Oh, geez.
Cut down. And I talked to the coach, and I said, well, if you cut down, how many did you have last year? 90.
Oh, my.
And there's no room for them, no place for them to play. They had to cut down to 50. So, being at a bigger school and everybody's, they're winning and all that, there's things that aren't good about it, too, because, a lot of those kids are taking lessons, and he said they're probably playing right now indoors someplace.
Yeah.
And so,
that's the one thing. I grew up in a bigger school. Marion was a bigger school, a lot bigger than Blackford.
Yeah.
Shoot, my graduating class was 435. Blackford's entire high school from 9 to 12 is only like 550.
Yeah.
So I had as many in my graduating class as Blackford has in their entire school.
Yeah.
But that's the one thing. We had cuts.
Oh, yeah. That was the worst part about coaching, let me tell you.
Yeah, you have to cut players.
Yeah.
Because I remember my senior year, there was over 100 kids that tried out for the basketball program when Bill Green came back in 93, 94 season.
We had 27 kids try out for our freshman baseball team when I was in school.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So, I mean, but now we're not making cuts.
No.
This team doesn't have any cuts. The boys haven't made any.
Probably
I think they made 3 cuts last year.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
And that's unfortunate because a lot of schools, that's the situation. It's an odd number that you can't keep that many, but you only have to cut 2 or 3. And boy, that's probably got to be harder than cutting 10.
Yes, and it was hard, especially with the kids that got cut last year, because they're kids that you've seen grow up throughout the years. They've always played sports.
And once you cut them, they're not coming back.
He stayed with the team and did some work with the team.
Okay.
Didn't actually practice with them, but kept some things for him, and he's back this year to do it again. Didn't even try out for the team. So glad to see him still being involved with the team.
And that's important too.
Yeah, exactly.
My son, just this afternoon, I told you I didn't know if I was going to get here. I sat through a 4.5-hour awards program for the cross country team, and I get part of it. It was the first time they've ever won the sectional in school history, 55 years. So the coach is such an awesome man that if there was anybody deserving for that, it was him.
Right.
And I'm sure the celebration went on for a few days. But they talked about both the managers on this team, and one of them, he even gave him an award for being his right-hand man and, talking to the team and talking to the kids and being a big part of that. And I managed basketball when I was in high school because, number one, we had a blue million kids trying out. Number two, I had asthma. And with John Straub coaching, there was a lot of running going on. And you still feel like part of the team. I got to cut down a piece of the net when we won the sectional my sophomore year.
Hey, that's what you live for right there. It doesn't matter. Hey, I'm part of the team.
I was in the picture.
Exactly.
I still got the
team,
net.
and I got part of that net, and that's all that matters.
That's
I am
right.
a part of that history, and I'm glad that there are kids. Because kids seem to get away from that now. Where, well, if I'm not on the court, then I don't feel like I'm a part of the team.
Yeah.
And, I actually struggled with that while I was in the military because I spent a year and a half not being able to do the things that the rest of my Marines and I were supposed to be doing together. So I kind of felt a little out of the picture, and I didn't even want to talk about my time in the Marine Corps because of that, because I didn't get to do what I like to call Marine Corps things.
Right.
And then I had a bunch of buddies of mine. They reached out and said, no, that's not the way this works.
Yeah.
You still went through boot camp, and that's all that matters. Yeah. And that's the same way with basketball. You're still part of that team.
Absolutely.
And you got to have those other guys. Otherwise, when the guys that are out on the court aren't going to do as well if you're not doing your part.
Right.
And so I'm glad that we do have kids that are willing to do that.
Absolutely. I mean, I had a couple kids, Pat Klaus and a couple other kids that were managers for me, Josh Rader, that in softball, they were out there doing things. They took as much pride in how that field looked and that team winning as anybody because they were a part of it.
And it's funny that you mentioned Pat Klaus because I know his daughter is a softball player, and I think she's going to be a freshman this year.
Yeah, we've been talking about her.
But he actually coached her from the time she was little. I remember seeing him down at the Little League when I was down there.
Yeah, he and I have talked a few times about that because, he was part of our team that went to state when we went to the state. And, I tried to make those kids feel as much a part of our team. They do things in practice. And I know when I was a manager for John Straub, you kept stats in practice.
Yep.
And he looked at those things and, and it was like, you better not be screwing up.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you just want to get kids involved however you can. That's, when I was at Monroe Central, I twice started that junior AD program.
Right.
I had kids that's the place they told me that I feel like I belong. And, met a lot of new friends, and I learned a lot about them and what they wanted to do in life, and you just want to see kids get involved because 4 years goes fast. Trust me.
Yeah, it does.
My daughter's a senior this year, and I'm dreading it And now that Caden's a freshman, I know the next 4 years are going to go by quicker than I can imagine.
I think I got one up on you. I got a son that's a senior and a daughter that's a junior.
Oh, man.
You want to talk about 4 years going by fast. Try having 5 years go by fast. But you've been in the father game for a lot longer than I have.
Yeah, I've got a young man that's teaching in Lafayette and one that's a youth pastor in Avon. So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
So
before we get going, you talked about what you did at state champs.
Yep.
But I don't think you ever mentioned how people can get a hold of you.
My email address is clandis@yellowflagproductions.com, and I put that on my Facebook page. I run my Facebook page, and then I also control the Indiana State Champs Facebook page that you can go to. You can Facebook message me. You can email me at clandis@yellowflagproductions.com. And if you want my phone number, I'm sure you can find that on there as well. I won't give it out here.
We won't give that one out.
But you can find that on there, or you can message me, and I'd be glad to give it to you. But, yeah, we're looking for sponsors for our talk show and our main show that will be on TV for a while and then continue on digital. We have clips of the week. We have the In Focus. We have the main event. We got several opportunities there, and it's right now we're looking for ways to keep this thing going beyond 3 years because we had a 3-year contract and we're halfway through and trying to find people to keep us going.
Yeah, we got to find people to keep you going, and I know that's hard to do, but if you're interested, definitely get in touch with Chris.
Yeah, absolutely.
But another thing, your freelancers, they don't just do it for free, right?
Oh, no, we pay. And actually, I've been to Purdue and talked to Peyton Stovall, who is an assistant AD there, and he is in charge of trying to come up with an internship program for the kids that are in athletics, and they said they can't be in the usual internships because of practices.
Right.
But to do this in the evening, go someplace to a Lafayette High School and shoot, and, yeah, we pay pretty well. And we won't send you too far away from where you live. That's one thing that's why Pat has started covering, Delta, Blackford. Right. I think the longest trip we did make was he went with me to Lewis Cass. Now me, they don't worry about how far I have to drive. I have to go wherever.
You're driving no matter what.
That's right. So, but we won't send you too far away. You just need your own equipment and be able to edit film. And download it, and then you're ready to go.
Now, that was my next question, because I know I've talked to you about doing this.
Yeah.
What kind of equipment do they need?
You know what? Camcorder like you have right here. I've got a camcorder I can hold in one hand.
Yep.
I've also got the giant TV camera, but I try not to use it unless I have to.
Now, I will tell everybody who's listening, the cameras that we use are $129 and $59.
Yep.
So they're not very expensive. They broadcast in 1080p, 1080i. I think this one does 1080i. This one does 1080p. So you don't need a 4K camera to do it, right?
Right. And the SD card.
Yep.
And make sure you have a couple batteries because I'm finding out in this fall stuff, being out in 25-degree weather, I have 2 batteries that each say they have 160 minutes on it, and that's a lie.
Yeah, that is a lie when you get into the 20-degree weather.
Yes,
They'll only last about half of that.
Right. They die pretty quick. And I know some people that have, like, Canon, actually, like, look like photography cameras, but they actually videotape too, and that's actually what my number one cameraman that does a lot of state finals, that's what he has. And
if your Canon at home does that type of broadcasting, get a hold of Chris. It's a good way to make a little bit of extra money.
Yeah, and actually get your name out there, and who knows where it'll lead to. I had no idea where this was going to lead to for me, but I've become good friends with Greg Rakestraw, who's involved with Colts and the Indy 11 soccer and all this, and it's led me to meet Peter Boyle and all these other guys with the Pacers, Colts, and everywhere.
Well, you just name dropping like it's
no I don't mean
deal.
to be. The Pacer guys, I've just met a lot of people that I never thought I'd talk to, and like I said, it's offered me a lot of opportunities. I wish the travel wasn't, 21,000 miles since February, but
I know where you're at with that.
But I really enjoy, being an AD was just a thrill of my life, just being around kids and being able to try to be some kind of influence in their lives. And I don't get to talk to them as personable doing this, but I get to see a lot of kids and a lot of great athletes, and it's just that part's really fun.
Exactly. So, again, another Blackford alumni doing great things.
Well, I appreciate that. I hope I am. I really appreciate what you're doing. I know, like I said, everybody's talked about this all over the state, and getting my alma mater out there to where no matter where I go, oh, you're from Blackford.
Oh, yeah. My son does travel baseball, so he's trying to get a scholarship through baseball. We went to a couple camps this summer as well as a showcase. And at one of the showcases, I walked up, and I had a Blackford sweatshirt on, and the guy out of the crowd of nowhere. I mean, I'm in the midst of about 100 parents, and this guy comes straight up to me, and he was like, "Hey, you're from Blackford?" And I was like, "Yeah." I'm thinking he's going to say, "Hey, I'm from Marion or Gas City or Fairmount," and he was like, "Yeah, I'm from Andrian. We're playing you guys this year, right?"
Yep.
And I was like, I think we are. And he said, "You have that Luke Brown kid, right? I have watched the videos." And I go, "Well, I got one better for you. I'm the guy that's been putting those videos out online." And he goes, "No way!" And we sat there and talked for I don't know, probably an hour while we.
Well, I think it's great.
waited.
And I think it's great the support that the teams have got, and I'm back in Blackford quite a bit now, checking on Dad, and my sister lives there and all that. But
how is your dad doing, by the way?
He's out of ICU. He was in ICU for 8 days, and he's at home. I called him on my way here and talked to him a little bit, and he's just trying to. He had pneumonia and some other things going on that. But he's a lot better now, and it sounds like he's doing well the last couple of days. But
that's good.
Yeah, I appreciate what you're doing, and I think it's great. And like I said, nothing like having your school being talked about all over the state. Yeah, just one thing. I just wish everybody would just let Luke be Luke.
Yeah.
Don't let Luke play and do all the talking, and nobody has to say a word.
You don't have to comment on the Indiana high school basketball fan page. Let them people say what they're going to say.
Yeah.
There's people that will sit there and try to defend him, and I'm just
say
what you have to say and leave it go. You don't have to keep commenting and keep getting into arguments.
There are so many times I've started to type stuff on there, and then there's so many times I've almost removed myself from the page because I really get tired of that. But, just let the kid be a kid, and you know what? When he gets his scholarship,
it's it, yeah. He's got 8 opportunities.
And all these people that think they know and they're scouts, you know what? You don't know anything.
No.
The scouts that are interested in Luke are watching him, and they're going to make him the offers, and nothing you say, good or bad, is going to affect
it's not going to It's not going to change their opinion of him. They have seen him play his AAU.
And it's that way with any kid out there. Yes. Brandon Strobel, if he becomes a great number 2 scorer for him, there's nothing to say he ain't going to get offered by somebody.
Exactly.
So, I think it'll be a fun year, and I'm hoping to get there a couple times anyway.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to actually – I can't wait for basketball season to start, but I've always been a baseball parent.
Yep.
And I can't wait for baseball with those seniors this year and dropping back down into 2A.
Yep.
Oh, man, the possibilities are endless on what they can do.
Yep.
So, hey, with that, I think they're getting ready to shut the lights off on us. So we're going to go ahead and head out of here. The Lady Bruins fall 26-56 to the Starfires. And we will have this uploaded later on this evening, and we'll see you guys on the next one.